are a spirit soul in a human body, but with a lot of, I'd say, doctrine and dogma that, is a very particular take on, what that means and what that responsibility comes with. Mm-hmm. So I always appreciate conversations, with, spiritual teachers and folks who have dedicated their life to learning, to kind of get that broader perspective, hopefully, that maybe as a future educator could pass on as you are doing. But maybe on that line, I am curious, like, in your time as a teacher, as an educator, someone who has heavily researched these things, what are some of the maybe core or most practical ways that we could, help someone come to this realization in such a material world? Someone might say, "Oh, you're crazy. I'm not, I'm a spirit soul. I'm going to live another life, or I predated this body." You're crazy. I just need to go work and just enjoy, what I can here. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing to enjoy life, but how to maybe bring them to attention that there is a deeper bliss that goes beyond material. And I wonder if there are some practical tools that you've learned over your time as an educator that appeal to people or help them come to this understanding, or at least draw them in, or
cool. That's a very valid question that you brought up. But first of all, I'm not an educator or a teacher. I'm still a student. I consider myself still a student.
We all are.
There's a lot.
I appreciate your humility. Yes.
So that's the truth. Yes. So you see, in the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna gives a wonderful perspective of how there will be people of all shades with all different kinds of motivations in life. Different things appeal to different people. We cannot bracket everyone into one single mold. That's a very important and beautiful thing which comes out of the Bhagavad Gita. That you cannot, one size doesn't fit all. Everybody comes in different sizes and shapes. That's the reality. So, for people who are, basically there are three broad divisions of the different mindsets of the people. One is called the mode of ignorance or tamoguna. One is called the mode of passion or rajoguna, and one is called the mode of goodness or satoguna. People who are predominantly in the mode of goodness, they have this inclination to understand the deeper aspects of life. For them, knowledge, education, these things are what appeal. And for them to seek and obtain answers about the different aspects of life, about how creation happened, how did we all come into existence. There are many people who try to seek answers for this in different ways. There are scientists who try to research into life and matter and try to figure out the solution. There are people who go into spirituality, trying to read the religious scriptures to figure out the solution. All of it can be brought under one broad headline of the mode of goodness, where there is a seeking of answers.
I see.
Then there are the people who are driven by the mode of rajoguna or the mode of passion. They are the doers. They are full of energy and passion. Yeah,
go.
Let's
fight
do
for
this.
Go do this.
So this is a different class of people. For them, what motivates is action. There has to be a call for action. There has to be a certain direction, and if their energies are channeled in the proper way, it comes out with wonderful results. And then there are people who are in the mode of ignorance or tamoguna. They are not really bothered about what happens, what are the bigger questions in life, and how we can make the world a better place. There are people who feel, first I have to take care of myself. My world, if I am comfortable, that's enough for me.
Yes.
That is another, mindset of people. So begin with what Krishna says is for the people who have the mindset that, I'm not interested in understanding and spirit, soul, and all this kind of stuff. I need to be happy and peaceful and all that. For such kind of people, there is a process which is known as karma yoga, where the emphasis is on that you have to do your duty. You have to have a moral standard, and you should be duty driven. So why should I do my duty? So that all of us can live peacefully, harmoniously, and we can peacefully have a good life. That's the driving factor initially. So when somebody follows that principle in life, gradually, as time goes by, he will become attached to doing the duty more than with the result. Initially, a person may do the duty being, the carrot that is dangling in front of him. He feels, okay, if I have to have this, I do my duty, I'll get this carrot. Eventually, the carrot will disappear. You will get attached to doing your duty. My duty is more important. Even if I get some reversals in life, doesn't matter. I have to follow my. I have to be beautiful. I have to be moral. I have to be truthful. I have to be honest. These things become more prominent. And when a person becomes so dutifully oriented, gradually what happens is he becomes more and more detached from the results and from his own personal self-interest. So naturally, when that happens, actually what is happening is this is a process of gradual evolution of the consciousness. So what happens is when the person comes to that level, when he becomes more and more detached from the results and more attached to the duty, the question naturally starts appearing in his mind that who is he, what is he, the seeking of the knowledge, that inquisitiveness within the heart starts automatically manifesting. And so then that person, for him the knowledge of spirit, soul and how we are not the body and all those things starts appealing. And when a person starts going in that direction, he starts understanding more and more about himself, about his relationship with God and all this kind of stuff. Gradually what will happen is he will start moving to the next level, where he will say, okay, I am knowing all these things, but that's not enough. I need to start acting on that platform. So which is when a person starts becoming more and more spiritual. So this is a gradual way of how a person can evolve from one mode to the other mode to finally come to the ultimate platform where one is dedicating one's life efforts and energies in the direction of an eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord. So it will happen, but the beginning, the start is the performance of duties for the sake of obtaining some good results for oneself and the society. That's where it all starts.
I see.
And that is the way the human mind is designed. It is designed to function like that. If a person follows this process, he will go through all these stages and he will eventually come to the stage of becoming a spiritually inquisitive and becoming a spiritual seeker and practitioner of spirituality. Ultimately, what drives us is our desire for satisfaction of our heart. Isn't it?
Yes.
So what gives satisfaction to us evolves in our consciousness as time goes by.
That's beautiful. Thank you. I'm curious on that wavelength. Maybe if you could speak more to Bhakti Yoga, particularly as a path and some of its beauties. I know that for a lot of us, sometimes yoga seems as one encompassing term, and I wonder if you might speak a little bit to Bhakti Yoga, particularly as a particular path or process, and what strengths and beauties it has to offer.
Yes, true. That's a very profound question. When we speak of yoga, normally when we speak of yoga, what we think is that yoga, what comes to our mind is all the different kinds of asanas and postures, isn't it?
Yes.
Now we have International Yoga Day and all that. So the connotation of yoga has become like that. But originally, if you look at the etymology of the word yoga, the Sanskrit word yoga actually means connection or addition. When you connect two things together, it is called a yoga. So yoga actually means connecting the individual soul to the Supreme Soul, connecting us to God.
Yes.
The path which connects us to God is called yoga, the process. Now, in that, what place does all this, or what role does this performance of all these different kinds of asanas, where we, pranayama and all those gymnastic postures we do, what role does it play?
Yes.
So actually, I was talking about performance of duties. And when a person is on the platform of performing his duties, it is called karma yoga. That is one form of yoga process which will, like I explained to you, gradually elevate your consciousness to come to the level of connecting with God. Okay, so that is, so Karma Yoga is the first step. If you liken our progress in spiritual life to a ladder, the first rung on that ladder is Karma Yoga. When a person performs his duties and comes to the stage of becoming inquisitive enough to know about himself, about God, what is death, what is life, and all these bigger questions in life, then he graduates to the next stage, which is known as Jnana Yoga, or the path of knowledge.
I see.
So he is a seeker. He studies different scriptures and tries to research and understand, and he is a thinker. He is an intellectual person. Like we have many Nobel Prize winners of who are from physics and chemistry background also, who do a lot of research and finally come to the conclusion that there must be an intelligence behind this creation.
Yes.
There are many people, George Wald, and so many people are there. So they are all thinkers. They are all intellectual people. They are on the platform of Jnana Yoga because they are seeking knowledge. And when a person has sought knowledge to a certain extent, he understands that, okay, there is an intelligence behind this creation, there is a God behind this creation. Now, where is that God? Who is that God? He wants to find out. That is where Ashtanga Yoga comes in. Ashtanga Yoga has the process of pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, asana, all these. There are 8 aspects, 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga.
Yeah.
And that is why it's called Ashtanga, means 8 limbs. So, asana and pranayama and all these things are part of Ashtanga Yoga, designed in such a way that by performing all this pranayama and asanas and all that, we calm our mind. We make our mind peaceful. Currently, our mind is very active, constantly running here, there, different subject matters and all that. But we make the mind calm and peaceful so that we are able to concentrate upon something. Yeah. What is that concentration supposed to be? It is supposed to be concentrated upon within inward and find out the form of God within ourselves, because the Vedic scriptures mention that God is spread everywhere. He is pervading everywhere. He is in every atom as well as He is accompanying us in our heart. So I want to see that God. Now my vision is not such that I am able to see God. So I undergo the process of pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, all these things, and by that I calm my mind, become peaceful so that my mind doesn't run outward, and I try to find out where is God within my heart. So the final stage of that Ashtanga Yoga is called Samadhi. Samadhi means I am able to completely shut out the external world, and I am able to focus upon myself within my heart, and I am able to have a vision of the Supreme Lord within my heart. So this is the perfection of Ashtanga Yoga. Now when a yogi becomes perfect enough to be able to see the form of God within one's heart, then naturally what happens is a desire awakens in his heart that, oh, I have seen the Supreme Lord. Now God is not some belief for me or some vague concept given in the scriptures. I have actually seen the Supreme Lord. So now that I have seen the Supreme Lord, I cannot keep quiet. I have to do something. I have to relate with Him. I need to establish my relationship with Him. So then what happens? This is very natural. Suppose you today get to have a meeting with the President of India, or rather the President of the United States. So when you get to a meeting and you actually meet him and you start talking to him, what you are first thinking is, let me understand, this is a great opportunity. If I can establish a link with him, and if I am able to establish a relationship with him, I can do many things, isn't it? That's a natural response. So when the yogi, Ashtanga yogi, is able to see the Supreme Lord within his heart, naturally the desire awakens in his heart that, okay, I should do something. I should relate with the Lord. I should render some service to Him. That is where Bhakti Yoga begins. So Bhakti Yoga is the culmination on the yoga ladder. It's the final step, because the devotional service to God, bhakti is defined as devotional service. So when you render service to the Supreme Lord with love and affection, that is the culmination, that is the final stage, because that is our constitutional position. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he, one of the saints in our tradition, he has said, Jivera Swaruphoy Nitya Krishna Das, that the constitutional position, every object has a constitutional position. Like, for instance, the constitutional position of water is to flow. And when the conditions are artificially changed, that water might become ice. But the moment the environment is brought back to normal, its tendency is to go back to its flowing state, to its fluid state. Similarly, if I give you some white crystals and tell you this is sugar, what will you do? You'll put it in your mouth and taste it. And suppose it tastes sour, what will you say? This is not sugar, yeah? Why? Because the constitutional position of sugar is to taste sweet. It cannot taste sour. So every object has a constitutional position. So similarly, we all living entities, we all souls, we also have a constitutional position. What is that constitutional position? The constitutional position is service. We have to serve. So if you look at the world, everybody is serving something or the other. Either he is serving his own senses, his own body is driving him to do so many things, he is engaged in satisfying them, or he is serving some sense of nationality, or he is serving some relatives and other people, or some ism or the other he is serving. You cannot be without service. This is the rendering service is the constitutional position of the living entity. But because we are investing that our constitutional position of service in varied kinds of things, we are not finding satisfaction. So when we invest our inherent quality of servitude in the service of the Supreme Lord with love and affection, not out of a sense of bondage, out of fear, or none of those things, not negative feelings, with love and affection. Just like a mother serves the child. Mother cleans the child, she takes care of the child, she feeds the child, she does everything. Not out of fear, oh, what will happen? Somebody will admonish me, or I'll be taken to task, so I have to take care of the child, what to do. Not in that mood. Yes. She is doing out of full love and affection. In the same way, with love and affection, we serve God. That is when we can experience complete satisfaction. So, the Bhakti Yoga is the process of bringing us to a stage where we can develop love of God. In fact, Prabhupada said, true religion is that which teaches you to love God, not to fear God or see Him as some sort of controller and things like that. So, Hare Krishna.
Welcome.
So, true religion is that which teaches you to love God and render service to Him on that platform of love. So that is the stage of Bhakti Yoga, and that is the eternal and final stage which can bring us full satisfaction and happiness.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's always good. Well, I'd love to thank you for joining us, and we're just open up for questions. If anyone has, it could range from, really full spectrum here, if that's all right.
Yeah, most welcome. So I'm Suvyakta Narasimha Das. I'm coming from India, Chennai. If you have heard of Madras, that's in southern part of India. So I'm coming from there. I'm here for a few days. So, Sadananda Prabhu was very nice to organize a meeting there. I could come and share some of my thoughts and feelings with all of you.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
Feel free to ask.
We were literally just passing by, so